Hello students, my name's Harry.
Salutations everyone, my name is Alan Aldroyd.
Alan!
What?
What are you doing?
Well, seeing as you always crash my streams, I thought it would be fair to do the same to you in a video.
Yeah, but this is a video.
Yeah?
A video, as in, not live.
So
So how are you doing this then?
you don't need to know.
Alan.
You don't need to know!
Well, that's as good a reason as any. Salutations students, my name is Harry Jones.
And I'm Alan Aldroyd.
And today we're taking a look at why Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing is the perfect Mario Kart clone. In April of 2008, Mario Kart Wii hit the store shelves and absolutely demolished the market, making over 4.6 million copies by August that same year. Up to this point, the Mario Kart games had sold well, but never on this scale.
This was easily the most exciting Mario Kart to date, with it being accessible on the Wii, having the biggest roster for any game so far and motion controls, so your parents who think that spinning the controller works might actually win a game.
Are you winning, Dad? And like with any franchise being popular, clones of the title were inevitable. Some were good, some were also good if you change the dictionary's definition. But this evidently ruffled up some feathers over at Nintendo's good old rival Sega. Again, change the definition.
Sega had made big roster games before with the likes of Sega Superstars for the PS2 iToy and Sega Superstar Tennis. Both games elicited the reaction, oh. Yeah, these games were nothing to rave about. Sega Superstar Tennis was fine, but the campaign tried desperately not to be a tennis game. I mean, look at this. It's just Sonic holding a miscellaneous object. And the iToy was that.
So, Sega knew they had to step up for whatever their next game was going to be. The world was their oyster. They could make it anything they want. So what did Sega do? Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing was released on February 23rd, 2010 for Xbox 360, PS3 and the Wii. I guess Sega didn't have faith in their other mascots as they previously did. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing? That does sound a bit odd. You'd never see Nintendo pull a stunt like this.
The box art is perfect considering how the game plays. I mean, compare it to Mario Kart Wii's cover. Well, they have like 4 colours on screen? Come on, your elders wouldn't be impressed. This one, however, just screams character.
When you boot the game up, it plays a cool intro cinematic, which the Superstar series is known for at this point, but this intro feels just a bit more special. The build up to seeing Eggman, Sonic saving Tails at just the last minute, the whole speed the animation gives us, the whole style is just so cool.
Once the intro cinematic ends, you're put into the title screen and hear the best thing to come out of any video game ever.
Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing!
Holy I am ready for anything. I could punch a child!
The game launches you into a tutorial that's quick and easy to learn how to accelerate, brake, drift and use items. Once it's shown you it all, it gives you the option to carry on and keep testing, or you can just hop straight into the game. I appreciate that it gives you this option. If you bring this to a party, you don't want to sit around for ages doing the tutorial, so nice start, game.
You're put back into the menu. You have your standard racing options. Single player, multiplayer, a shop, and we'll get to this gem later. Single player, you get 4 main options. Single races are exactly what you think. Hop in, do a race. Hop out, try another. Time trials are a bit different. Rather than doing 3 laps like a regular race, you drive around a track indefinitely to get a single best lap time. Every time you cross the line, you're given an extra speed boost. Some might see this as a downgrade to Mario Kart. Personally, I see it as a cool alternate to it. Plus, you can keep going without ever having to restart. Had a bad lap? Just keep driving and you'll get another shot. Finally, there's Mission Mode. Very similar to Mario Kart DS's. Christ, they hit that button hard, didn't they? And we'll get to the main part we'll be discussing. The Grand Prix. So, let's hop in and see what it's like.
This game is brilliant. Okay, this is pretty brilliant. The way I can sum this game up is being invited to a party and having low expectations, but then you meet people you haven't seen in years, and it makes you so happy to be there. That's this game. I hadn't had this much fun with a Sonic game since 2005. That's insane.
I think it's partly due to Sega being a publisher on this project, as Sumo Digital developed and created this game, similar to Nintendo distributing companies like Retro Studios or 1UP Studios with games like Metroid, Donkey Kong, and the Mother series. It stands out as a really impressive racing game regardless of what the competition was at the time. Considering the previous attempts we had at Sonic racing games were these, it's refreshing to have something great to play with this blue face on it.
In total, the game sports 6 Grand Prix, each one representing a different brand from Sega. There's Sonic, specifically representing Sonic Heroes, Super Monkey Ball, Billy Hatcher, Samba de Amigo, Jet Set Radio Future, and House of the Dead, and specifically Curian Mansion.
Wait, no love for the Bonanza Brothers?
Well, they are actually in the game. And what a track list we have. With the exception of these 2 Monkey Ball stages, honestly, they can rot and die. These tracks are so well designed. The first few have simple enough courses with varying challenges, some shortcuts introduced on a few of them, but the difficulty spike of these tracks goes up ever so slightly with each Grand Prix. I'd contrast this with Mario Kart Wii's track design, which, let's face it, for the first 3 Grand Prix, they're a piece of piss. Don't get me wrong, they're fun and all, but the only thing that makes them difficult is the items.
Was that a segue into... The items in this game aren't anything too fancy. They're pretty much bare bones copies of Mario Kart, as you can see. On the one hand, it comes across as... But on the other hand, these items are more of a minor help than a crutch, as I'd argue that this game relies more on your ability to drive than it does luck. Mario Kart, I'd say, is a split down the middle. If you really went for it, you could level the odds to be more in your favour. But in All-Stars, I can count on one hand the amount of times items have hit me. Even on expert mode. Well, saying that.
In this game, we have the All-Stars. These are power-ups that appear when you're at the back of the pack. These can range from Sonic and Shadow using the Chaos Emeralds to go super, all the way to Akira literally jumping out of the car and kicking it to maximum speed. Sega knew this was the best one. That's why they put it in the title sequence. The All-Stars are lovely little references to their respective game franchises. Speaking of character references,
unlike Mario Kart, where you can customize a car or have a varied selection to choose from, Sonic Racing has 1 kart per character. At first glance you might think this is lazy, but it's really not. See how every character has a vehicle that's either a reference to a previous game, like Shadow's bike from his game or Amy's cart from Sonic R. Or if they don't have anything, like Sonic for example, there's information about the character's vehicles in the collection section of the menu. So the developers went to the time and effort to model each individual character have their personal vehicle based on their games. Man, wouldn't it suck if they got rid of that?
Speaking of the vehicles, we might as well talk about how they control. Most of the vehicles in this game range from decent to good. They handle similarly to Mario Kart 7 customization feature. Bigger cars have good speed and turbo boost but bad acceleration and handling. Smaller karts have the inverse, and then you have average ones like Sonic's, but all of them have their own unique quirks and handling that different players can latch onto. But if you're really bad at the game and you can't win at all, just pick Shadow. I'm not kidding. He's the best character in the game. He is to this game what Meta Knight was to Brawl. You just stand no chance against this behemoth of a hedgehog. There's only one character who nearly rivals him, that being Ryo Hazuki, but you have to unlock him first.
How would one go about doing that?
Well, as any party game would, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing has its own little shop full of collectibles. You can buy more characters, unlock tracks for the single race game mode, and buy some more music tracks. And this selection of music is the best out of the racing trilogy. Alan, you might have to take over from me for a bit.
Sure.
As Harry was saying before we lost him to the Sonic cult, this game has several unlockable features. You purchase these features by playing the game through a currency called Sega Miles. Every time you finish a 3-lap race, you're given roughly 3,000 to 5,000 Sega Miles. If you keep playing for about 6 hours, you should be able to buy everything up. Except for this purple prick.
Oh yeah. No one liked Big.
Oh, come on!
And if you think I'm joking, Harry has 100%ed this version of the game, except for Big. He actively steered away from buying him as he hates his all-star and his voice. I think the dev team knew this and forced Billy the Hatcher from the Grand Prix and replaced him with Big, so at least you'd know that he's in the game. Otherwise, no one would purchase this unit. The soundtrack in this game ranges across 6 different franchises that make up the Grand Prix. By far the best sounding music comes from the House of the Dead and Jet Set Radio Future. You just can't rival these nostalgic tunes.
You all good?
Yeah. I just told him the Game Grumps uploaded a Sonic video. They lost complete interest in me.
Isn't this what happened with the girlfriend?
Yeah, well, how else do you think I knew it worked? On the whole, the collections are neat. I was annoyed as a kid about the inclusion of Zobio and Zorbico, as House of the Dead was the only other Sega game I'd played at the time, and they included characters from a Japan-only release, so I had no idea who these two were. Man, wouldn't it suck if another company did something like that? Like a big crossover game where they included loads of really cool characters but then threw in a really obscure one from a Japanese game that when you put them in some kind of campaign, it doesn't make sense because you don't understand where they're from. Release mother free Nintendo. But ultimately, they did introduce me to new Sega games, as did Amigo and Jackie and Akira, so at least I had that going for it. So this bit isn't scripted, I just straight up forgot to write about this, and I don't know why, but we really need to talk about...
Any fool can stay on the track, right?
I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but whoever they did deserves the biggest pay rise of all time. In the game, there is a commentator who shouts stuff at you during the race.
BD Joe opening a can full of dumbass.
He is half the reason I wanted to make this review, and the fact that I forgot about him is upsetting. Some of the stuff he comes out with is beyond incredible and just hilarious.
Well, isn't this a quiet one? Wake me up when you guys start driving for real, huh?
Oh god, imagine if they got rid of the commentator. I mean, he's such a good feature. There would be no point to ever get rid of him as a feature in the game.
Boy, am I glad that race is over. I got sweat in places that don't even sweat.
Anyway, moving on. In conclusion, this game may be a Mario Kart clone, but it does a damn good job at distinguishing itself as a brilliant kart racer, while changing elements to not feel like a straight copy and paste job. As we said earlier, the game is more skill based than Mario Kart. There are straight up races where you can just drift around the whole track. Your playlist might as well be full of Eurobeat. So Sega, despite your rocky history, this is actually a pretty brilliant kart racing game, and in my opinion, it's the best one you've made so far, so well done guys. What is that?
What is it, some kind of earthquake?
We don't get earthquakes in England.
Unless... What did you say?
What do you mean?
What did you say before?
Alan!
Can someone die of excitement? We're about to find out, folks! I don't think I can take much more of this! I'm about to explode with excitement! Better get a mop and bucket ready, Susan!